Hello and welcome back to the Mechanical Timepiece. My name's Rob. If it's your first time here, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to be looking at another watch review. Today is the turn of this, which is the Cronos L6005, better known on AliExpress as a Rolex Submariner Homage, probably the best one you can get on AliExpress. I picked this up a few days ago. Ordered and delivered to me really quickly, 9 days from ordering to the UK. I have already done an unboxing video for this, so if you haven't seen that one already, please check that one out before you look at the review. It's really interesting. There were some bits missing out of the box I feel should have been there. This one is going to be one of my normal reviews, so we're going to look at the specs, the facts, etc. And then we're going to go in and look at the good, the bad and the ugly, which is the positives, the negatives and QC issues. And there are a couple with this watch that I was quite surprised to see actually. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really does make a big difference to the channel. Additionally, I'm now an affiliate with AliExpress, so if you do consider buying this watch, and I would recommend that you do, it is a really good quality watch for the money. Please use the affiliate link in the description below. It doesn't cost you any more money, but the AliExpress do then pay me a little bit of commission, which really does go to help towards keeping the channel going. So if you do like it, please consider doing that. As always, add some comments, give me your thoughts, any feedback, always welcome. So without taking too much time to get that, let's get it off the wrist, under the light, and get on with it. Okay, so we'll get straight on with the facts and figures for this particular watch. We have a 40.8mm diameter, 44.3 with the crown, 47mm lug to lug, and then it raises out to 54.4 with those male end links, so it does actually wear quite a lot wider than it with the case would suggest. Those male end links there do stick out quite a long way. 13.2mm in depth and then 20mm lugs, exactly how you would expect of a Rolex Submariner Homage. The case itself is 316L stainless steel, a mixture of brushed and polished. You can see the sides here are polished. Excuse the fingerprints on the side. I will give that a quick clean while I'm here. See there's polished sides, both sides, and then brushed across the top and around the edges there. The crown itself is a stamped screw down crown, as you would expect for a 200-meter diver. We have a ceramic bezel, 120 click unidirectional, and I'm just going to get an audio of that one. It is quite light to turn this one. There's not a huge amount of resistance. So I suspect you could fall foul of it turning by itself. Flat sapphire crystal with AR coating. Trying to get that, it's not a nice piece of flat crystal on top there. Slightly beveled edge. Nice piece of crystal. The AR on this one doesn't look too bad actually. Fair's fair. It doesn't look too bad, this one. It's a pretty good piece of crystal. And then, as exactly how you'd expect from a Rolex Submariner Homage, one sterile case back. Sized up for me on my 7-inch wrist, this one is coming in at 149 grams exactly. Have a quick closer look at the dial here. Let's just zoom in on that one if we can. We have a flat black dial, exactly as you would expect, with applied markers, triangle at 12, batons at 6 and 9, and then a date complication at 3. The rest are circular, all applied, printed minute track around the edge, and then the word Cronos with the logo in the middle at the top there, an automatic 200-meter water resistance, 660 feet. I would have liked the Cronos wording to be a little bit bigger. It does tend to get lost on the dial a touch. More of a preference than a criticism, I believe. Not the end of the world. The hands are typical Mercedes hands with a lollipop second hand beating away there as we go around. The lume on this is BGW9, and what I'll do is I'll turn the light off for a second. You'll get a lume shot on this one. You can see that blue lume there coming up on the markers, on the hands, and on the pip at the top. It looks like there's a little bit of refraction off the case. Not bad, this lume. Not the best I've seen, but not bad. Does pretty well for itself. So carrying on then, let's have a look at the strap on this one.
Start 20 millimeters at the start, tapering down to 15.8 mil at its narrowest point, back up to 18.37 at the clasp. Solid links, solid end links throughout. Again, not bad value for the money. 316L stainless steel again. Screw pins on the adjustment side, wherever they are other side, which are just about visible on the ends there. Came with a little screwdriver, so it makes it nice and easy to adjust. Milled clasp on this one, 3-piece sort of fold over clasp with a sort of a easy removal, easy opening sort of latch thing. There we go, like that. Proper milled clasp, this one. None of your stamped rubbish here. It's unsigned, the clasp. I would have liked to see a logo on this particular one. 3 levels of micro adjust here. You can see those little indentations just there for the micro adjust. What I would say on this one was, in order to get it to fit comfortably on my particular wrist, I had to drop out 3 links and then move the micro adjust all the way in to get it to sit. I found if I took 4 out and had it on the outside one, it didn't fit very comfortably. So just I had to fiddle around with it just to get it to fit nicely. It's not an on-the-fly adjustment. You do have to use a tool to get it in there and change that around. Movement inside this one, PT 5000, 4 Hertz movement, beating away at 28,800. This one's been pretty good, doing all right for itself on time, only a couple of seconds out per day, so all happy in there. And then you've got the Cyclops there over the date. I reckon this one is about 2 times magnification. I don't think it's 2.5 as you would expect for a Rolex Submariner. But overall, very, very good. Nice piece of watch. Well recommended. Now, moving on, let's talk about good, bad, and ugly. So as I like to call them, good. So these are the things about the watch, the positives that are, you know, worth shouting about. I think this is a very, very close homage to a Rolex Submariner. Of all the ones you can buy on AliExpress at the moment, this is pretty much the closest that I'm aware of. Weight, size, dimensions, design, everything is pretty spot on. Otherwise, it's good materials, it's well made, it's well screwed together, it feels like it's been machined nicely. There's a few sharp edges here and there. The edge on the case is a little bit sharp. The edge on these links is a little bit rough, but it's not bad. It's pretty good and it's great value. I paid £150 for this one. Always available, you know, to get coupons etc. on AliExpress. Always good value to be had there. Bad. Now, okay, so let's move on to the bad things. Lack of design. Cronos, 0 points for originality. All credit to Rolex. So you lose a couple of marks for that one, I'm afraid. It's a little bit light for my personal taste. It's 150 grams. Most of the watches I wear are sort of 160 grams plus in steel with steel bracelets on them. My Christopher Ward watch is 190 grams ish with the steel bracelet on it, so it's much more noticeable. I prefer them slightly heavier. Not a problem with this watch, but just bear that in mind. Next one, the bracelet. It's a little bit thin, I find. It's a little bit thin and a little bit sort of wide. It almost sounds like some of the joints need a little bit of an oil, a little bit squeaky in some of the joints. So for me, a little bit thin in the bracelet. And lastly, the winding mechanism on the PT 5000 is a little bit scratchy. It's a little bit scratchy. It's not bad. It's just a little bit scratchy, and getting it to screw back in again is a little bit of a dark art, I have to say. You're not sure whether you've threaded the screws or not, so you have to be a little bit careful in that, and then consider that if you're doing so. And then lastly, ugly. So good old-fashioned QC issues. Has anybody noticed it during the course of the video? Give you a couple more seconds to have a think about it. Has anybody noticed the problems? Nope. Okay, right. I'll tell you what they are then. It doesn't line up. I did call this out when I did the unboxing. The date window, I don't think, lines up perfectly with that glass. I'm sorry about the lights just shining on the screen there. They're not the best things to do. But the Cyclops does not line up with the glass. And then you can see it slightly more here. This baton does not line up with this one on the bezel. Also, the triangle, when you're turning these clicks round, it's either one click, it's half a click short, you can see it there, or it's half a click over. It doesn't quite line up properly. I'm not sure whether it's the bezel isn't aligned, or actually the bezel and the glass are okay and the dial is not quite straight inside the case. Not 100% sure which way around it is, but it's not right. It's enough for it not to look quite right. The reason I'm questioning whether it's the dial or the case is that actually if you look at the 6 o'clock baton, try to get that in focus, that doesn't look straight on its own to me. If you look at the top of the 6 o'clock baton and compare it to the lettering above it, it doesn't look very straight to me. I could be wrong, but to my eyes, it doesn't look quite right. So there's that. And then the other one, I have some issues with this bracelet. So if I get it open for you, I'll see what you mean. Once it's open, it's a little bit, you can hear that? It's a little bit thin. And the one that really worries me is this junction here. Now I'm going to try and just get you to show this. You can see how loose that connector is there. It's a little bit worrying. Once it's on the wrist, it's all folded over and sort of sits inside itself. So it's not necessarily the biggest problem, but just for me, I would be concerned about how robust that is over time. But other than that, a great watch, and well worth considering. If you're in the market for a decent Rolex Submariner Homage, you could do a lot worse than this. For the money, I think it's pretty good. So there you are.
So there you go, another great watch from Cronos. Great build quality, great movement, good materials, well put together. Unfortunately, a couple of QC issues with this one. I don't think that's a fault. I don't think that's a general fault with the watch. I think I was just unlucky with this particular buy. I would still definitely recommend looking into this one if this is the sort of watch you're looking for. Don't forget, I do have an affiliate link if that's what you're looking to do. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really does make a big difference. And thanks very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.